Today, we're going to make an old school notebook from scratch. Hi everyone, it's Sherry. I hope that you are having a wonderful day. That's right, from scratch. Stay tuned. Y'all, welcome to my channel. I am so glad that you decided to stop by, and welcome to all of my new friends and to all of my new subscribers. Welcome back to all of my longtime friends and longtime subscribers. Thank you all so much for the wonderful ways in which you support me and my channel. I really do appreciate it. You can never have too many notebooks, and today we're going old school because we're going to make a ring style notebook, and we're going to make it from scratch. So I am going to flip to my overhead camera because y'all know what time it is. It's time to make it. All right, y'all, so we're going to hop right into it because today we're going to be making an old school style notebook. Remember the binder that you had to open the rings? That's what we're making today. We're going to make a smaller version, but the method that I'm going to show you and what I'll be using, you can easily make these larger if you want. So I've decided that I'm going to go with this beautiful yellow. So here's what I'm going to be using, and I will be walking you through this process step by step. So make sure that you're not only listening, but you're looking, because I might scroll something across the screen that I notice when I'm editing the video. I'll normally make a correction or an addition across the screen. So if you can, please look at the screen as well. So I've decided that I want to use this rolled paper. Some of you will remember this from a few years back. I got these drawer liners at Tuesday Morning, and they're bead themed, and they have a beautiful, beautiful scent to them. And I think the collection is Lady Jane. I'm not really sure, but I think that that was the name. So if you look up Lady Jane drawer liners, you might be able to find something similar to this or some other patterns that are out there. But I chose this because I wanted to make sure that I had enough room to be able to lay down my pieces of chipboard. So this is about 15 inches wide, which is going to be perfect. And then I have a piece of 12 by 12 that I'll be using for the inside liner, and I'll walk you through the process of how we measure to cut for our inside liner. So then I have some white paper, and I have cut this white paper at 4 5/8 by 5 3/4 because my book is going to be 5 by 6 and it will be 1 1/2 inch deep. So I am using chipboard. I have 2 pieces cut at 5 by 6 and then 1 piece cut at 1 1/2 by 6. Now, if you don't have chipboard, but you do happen to have some old cereal boxes or boxes made of that type material, go ahead and double up because you'll be able to get the consistency of a decent chipboard when you do double. Or you can use shoe boxes, and if cardboard is all you have and you want to try making this project with that, go ahead and give that a try. So the reason why I chose a rolled paper or a sheet paper is because of the length of it. This is about 15 by 8, and I wanted it to be longer. If I was to use a 12 by 12, I wouldn't be able to have the wraparound space that I need. So that is why I'm using the rolled paper. But if you don't have rolled paper, you can simply join 2 pieces together to make your paper longer. It's totally up to you. So I am going to peel away my tape backers from my chipboard, and I do use a double-sided tape. If you're interested, I have the tapes listed in my Amazon storefront, and that is linked in the description box. All right, so I am going to bring in my rolled paper, and I am going to take 1 piece of my 5 by 6 chipboard, and I'm just going to place it down like this. Now, if you have the 5-in-1 tool that I've been showing on the channel, then you can certainly use that for this part of the process. So now I'm taking that 1 1/2 by 6 inch piece and we're placing it right there. I will take the last piece that is 5 by 6 and we're going to place it right there. And my goal was to give myself at least 1/8 of an inch in spacing in between these two. So now I'm just going to bring in my big old spatula. Let's go ahead and get that nice and stuck. Use my finger blade to trim away some of the excess paper that we don't need. Do the same thing on this end. And y'all, with a rolled paper or a sheet paper, you really don't have to worry about it cracking. But if you do have a paper that's prone to cracking, go ahead and take your stylus, press it against the chipboard, and then drive it into your paper. It might not stop the paper from cracking, but it is helping to break up the fibers, which might help to minimize the severity of the cracking. And if you have contact paper, wrapping paper, wallpaper, you can substitute anything that you like for this part of the process. So I am just folding over. And now we'll miter these ends here. And again, that 5-in-1 tool is very handy for that. I will have the video linked where I demo the 5-in-1 tool so that you can see exactly what it is that I'm talking about. For those of you who have gotten the 5-in-1 tool, you have left so many wonderful messages letting others know just how much it's helped you. So I really do appreciate that. The 5-in-1 tool is not something that I'm selling. It's just something that I happened to come across on Amazon last October, and I thought it would be helpful to some. So I am adding tape to these 4 flaps here. And y'all, I can get away with using snail tape because this is going to be sandwiched in between the liner and the chipboard. I'm just going to go ahead and get that nice and stuck. And now we're going to measure for the inside liner. And the way that we do that is we take our piece and we measure it this way and this way. And we reduce it by 1/4 of an inch this way and this way. So this piece is 11 7/8, and we're going to reduce it to 11 5/8. So this piece is 6, and we're going to trim it down to 5 3/4 of an inch because we're going to remove 1/4 of an inch. So I am going to bring in my beautiful paper here, and I'm going to trim this to 5 3/4. By 11 5/8. And we should end up with a pretty good fit, and we do. So no matter the size of the notebook that you decide to make, this method will work. Just tweak your sizing and just cut your chipboard or your cereal box to whatever size you need for it to be. And then measure for that inside liner in the way that I've shown. So what I'm doing now is I'm just placing down some tape on my jacket so that we can place that inside liner. Then I'm going to take some tape, and we'll place tape along the edges of all 4 sides of this paper. All right, so now that we have our tape on the inside liner here, and then we have our tape around the outer edges, we're going to go ahead and remove the tape backers from both, and we're going to join these together. And now we'll take our inside liner and we're going to place it down on the jacket like this. And I'll go around with my big old spatula, making sure that I get everything nice and stuck. I am going to start working my spine by coming in from this direction and then just going into that spine and really getting it nicely defined. And then I'll come at it from this direction and just work that spine. And so now, y'all, we have a really cute jacket for our notebook. I am going to take my big old spatula and just go along the edges to sort of square everything. Isn't this just absolutely stinking cute? So now we're going to take this piece, and this is how we're going to turn it into a ring binder. We're going to be using these. Now this one I think is 4 inches long, but they do have longer ones on Amazon. They do have 3 rings. They have 6 rings. It's totally up to you. Whatever it is you're trying to accomplish when you make yours, you can find something comparable to this on Amazon. And this is exactly where I got this, and I will have it linked in the description box. So I have zoomed in to give a better view of what I'm going to be doing, and there are 2 holes right here. And all I'm doing is making an indentation. Maybe you can see those marks right there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Crocodile Big Bite, and I have it set on the 3/16 setting. And I am just going to punch a hole where I have made that mark. So there's 1 hole. And I found that the 3/16 setting works best for this. And there is my second hole. Just going to punch through a little bit to make sure I have that nice and clean. And you can see my holes there. We're going to take this and we're going to put it down. And so now I'm going to take these little screws, and I will have these linked in the description box below as well. Just make sure that you're looking under metals, as well as awesome paper crafting tools. And so what we have here is a little screw head, and then we have a piece that is mainly decorative. So the way that this is going to work is we are going to take the screw head portion, put it through on the inside, then we're able to put it in like this. And now we can take this piece, put it on, and just basically screw it on. And we're going to go ahead and put these in before we really tighten anything. So I'm going to add this one, feed it through the hole. We'll take this piece. And now you can take your screwdriver and really just work that in. And you want to try to get it as tight as you can. And I'll do the same thing over here. So I am just working the screw into the screw head. And you'll just keep turning it until you can get it as tight as you can. And I will keep lifting up on this to bring it through some more. And then tighten it. I'll lift up on this one. Bring it through some more. And then tighten it. And this is how it will look on the back. On the inside, it will look like this. Now, what I found is you might have just a little bit of a gap underneath, but for me, that's no biggie. I have a working ring binder. And y'all, I really do think that that looks pretty sharp. So I am going to open this. I have a scrap piece of chipboard, and I am just going to take it and place it in like this and snap close, because what I'm trying to get is my little marking. And I can see that mark right there and right there. So now I'm just going to take my Crocodile and punch a hole here and a hole here. And y'all, they won't be perfect, but I'm just trying to gauge whether or not I have holes in close to the right spot. And I think that I do, because my paper is not as long as this. All right, y'all, so what I've decided to do is I'm going to try this. You can go through and punch your holes one by one if you want. But for me, I really don't want to do that. So I am going to try doing this. Make a mark there, make a mark there. And then I'm going to see if my cinch will work for me. So if you've not seen the cinch, it's a bookbinder basically. And you have these gears here, and when the gear is pushed in, it's going to punch a hole in that position. So when I'm looking at this, I can see that I can punch my first hole at 2. So that's what I'm going to do. I don't know if you can see this, but the 2 gear is the only one that's pushed in, and all the others are out. So we're going to go ahead and punch that hole. And you can see that it aligns right there with the 2. So then I'm going to turn it this way. Because I want to punch from the opposite side. And I should have holes that work. And you can see that they do. So whatever method you choose to use to punch your holes, you can punch them all by hand. You can use your cinch if you have one the way that I did. You might even have another way of doing it. But for me, I decided that I was going to take advantage of using that cinch to punch my holes. So now all I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of my papers. I'm going to put them in and I'm going to punch. Then I'll take them and turn them in the opposite direction so I can get my hole on the other end, and I'm going to punch. And so now we should be able to take these and put them in our book. And you can see that we do have a nice little fit. So now we can close this. But when I close it, what I didn't take into account was that the papers would be pushed forward when we close the book. So now what I need to do is I need to trim away some of my pages. And so y'all, I'm just going to do this without really measuring. I could see that I needed to remove about this much, and I'm just eyeballing. But I am just going to take my finger blade. I could put these in my electronic paper cutter, but I just want to show you how easy it is to just gently cut through all of the excess pages. I'm not pressing down. I am just going over it. To remove this overhang. I think I might be at the end. And I am. So you can see I had a pretty sharp blade in my finger blade, and my pages aren't curled. Now I can put them in my notebook like this, and I can close my notebook, and now the pages do not hang over. You can add pockets, tabs, inserts, whatever it is you might want to add to this, you can, because easy to open. This is truly what I call refillable. We're not making any slots or tabs. We do that all the time. But this time we went old school, and we're using the mechanics of an old school notebook to make our own mini little notebook that you can make as many pages for as you like. You can add so much. But y'all, this is an easy peasy process, easily adaptable to multiple sizes of notebooks. If you're interested, just head on out to Amazon and look for the notebook binder hardware, and they will have so many that I'm not even using right here that might meet the need that you have. But this is just one of the many ways that we can take advantage of what's out there to create what we need. So we're going to call it quits on this for right now, but I think I might come back and show you how to make some really cute folders, how to give yourself a little clipboard on the inside. So many different things that we can do with this. But for right now, we just wanted to make an old school style notebook, and I absolutely love it. And I hope that you do too. So if you have enjoyed this project, and y'all, I hope you have, please hit that like button. If you're not a subscriber to my channel, I'd love to have you join this amazing online crafting family. You guys, as always, please be safe, be kind, and be the reason someone smiles today. Happy crafting, and we'll chat later. Bye.